welcome to Season 2 of the Comic Schtick Podcast. This is really weird. I'm not digging this lighting, I don't think. Let me mess with this. There we go, that's a little better. It's not so clinical as it was in here. Welcome to the new podcast backdrop, which is the extra bedroom in our apartment that we turned into our office. You can't see much in this corner, as you can tell. There's just nothing back there. Right back here, that is my fiance's side of the room. That's all of her crap that she hasn't put away yet. And on this wall that you cannot see is my stuff. I'll post pictures during the video if I remember. I don't know. Or, follow me on Instagram at NotBlakeWild and check it out. Welcome to Season 2, I guess. I just decided last night, hey, may as well make this, call this Season 2 of the Comic Schtick Podcast, because we've been away for so long. There's been like a month and a half hiatus between episodes, but now I'm back. And I'm rocking and I'm rolling, and on today's episode we are going to be catching up on all the SDCC news and a bunch of other stuff that I wrote in my notes like 2 or 3 weeks ago, whenever San Diego Comic-Con was. I still have it on my phone instead of my monitor over here like I usually do, because I got a new phone. I got a Google Pixel 6. Which is, I really dig it. I really love this phone. Just wiping off the screen because I have grubby little hands. But, so all of my notes, which I did not send to myself prior to losing service on my old phone, are still on my old phone. So I'm going to have to scroll through my note folder and find the beginning of this. Let's see. There we go. But yeah, without further ado, let me get right into the plug for Destructo Boy, the Heir of Alpha Cardinal. Issues 2 and 3 are coming very soon. YumaCon is coming up, and I am hopefully going to be exhibiting there again this year. So I gotta get these printed up. Or I gotta get the next couple issues printed up. But yeah, Destructo Boy, the Heir of Alpha Cardinal. It's been a while, I'm rusty at this. Destructo Boy, the Heir of Alpha Cardinal, Part 1 of 2, is part of a 6-issue little mini-series about Destructo Boy. I'm not used to this, setup. I haven't recorded... This is the first thing I've recorded in a new apartment. It's about Destructo Boy, who is this little robot right here. He is the sole protector of Zephyrus Colonial Space Station. And in this issue, he must tackle the terrible, tenaciously strong... I don't know where I'm going with this. The terrible maw of Alpha Cardinal, a long-thought dead and or fake member of a cult who once ruled Zephyrus Space Station, but has come back and is searching for vengeance and to rule and destroy the space station itself. So check it out. It's on etsy.com/shop/Blake T. Wild. Make sure you capitalize the B, T, and W. Here's the back cover going over Orin Aronitis, the feared leader of the Mechnomaniacs, which is a gang on the space station that we see. $9.99 plus shipping and handling for the physical copy. Every physical copy does come with a free head sketch included. Like I said, $9.99 for the physical, $5 for digital if you want to do it that way. It comes as PDF file. Actually, it comes as 2 PDF files because it wouldn't let me upload the whole page PDF file to the website because it's just too damn good. So check that out. And without further ado, again, let's get right into it. And I figured I would have my little Mego Spider-Man that I've had here since I was a child, just to add some flair to the scene. Alright, let's see here. Starting this off with something that I did about a month ago, and that is the Goonies. I watched the Goonies for the first time in my life. When it was showing at one of a local theater. They were doing a little, nostalgia, flashbacks, here's the old movies that everybody loves. And we went and saw that, and I hated it. I don't get the appeal. I don't get the love, aside from just blatant nostalgia. Goonies is not a good movie. I was very underwhelmed. I was falling asleep during the film. I just wanted it to be over. I didn't like any of the characters. Did not like the Goonies at all. It is not a good film. Moving on to some very interesting news that I really wanted to talk about a couple weeks ago, but again, never got around to it. And this is about Armie Hammer, previous movie star of some things. He was in the Social Network? Is that what that film was called? He was in that. He was going to be Batman in George Miller's Justice League Mortal. Armie Hammer also has a cannibalism fetish or something, and like a weird daddy fetish, I think, maybe. I can't remember what those leaked texts revealed about his life. But he is apparently working as a timeshare salesman in the Caymans. Yeah. And that came about because, like, people posted this, like, flyer with his face on it, like, welcoming people to the Grand Marriott in the Caymans. And, like, the internet just blew up about it. The Grand Marriott was like, no, that was just a joke between some of our employees. Mr. Hammer stays here quite often, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, a few days later, another news outlet was like, no, we found out that Armie Hammer has quit acting and is now, like, has no money and is now employed at the Grand Marriott as a timeshare salesman. And apparently his kids also live in the Caymans. So this is seemingly some way to prove to, I assume, his ex-wife that, you know, he's trying to be stable and on his feet so he can continue to have a relationship with his children. Which, you know, it's not the most glamorous thing, but, you know, at least he's trying, I guess. I haven't heard anything about Armie Hammer since this story broke out last month. So I assume he's still down there. Moving on to everybody's favorite Sony Marvel property that's coming out, Madam Webb. Adam Scott is apparently in the film. Well, he's not apparently in the film. He is in the film. People believe he's going to be playing Ben Parker, Peter Parker's father, opposite to one of my celebrity crushes, Emma Roberts, who is also rumored to play Mary Parker, Peter Parker's mother. So, you know, it's a flashback. It's a flashback movie. It's set in the past. It's a prequel. Hopefully they don't go with the whole, Mary is, well, I guess both of them are like government agents because, oh my god, I hate that origin. I think the only time that really worked was in Ultimate Marvel, and that was it. But yeah, let's see. Who else here? Emma Roberts, Adam Scott, Sydney Sweeney, who's apparently playing Julia Carpenter, Dakota Johnson as Madam Webb, Isabella, what is her name? Merced is Anya Corazon, and I don't know who any of these other people are. Oh, Dennis Daniel plays Pedestrian. So there you go. I don't think anybody's looking forward to this film at all. I am because, you know, I like Adam Scott. I love Emma Roberts. This will be interesting to, if she is playing Mary Parker, what kind of personality she has. Because Emma Roberts, a lot of her more recent roles have been like bitchy, hot, alpha, blonde chick. And, I don't think Mary Parker is like that. Oh, God almighty. I hope it's not some sort of adaptation of... Oh, my God. What is that fucking book called? Trouble. I hope it is not some sort of adaptation of Trouble. Which, for anyone unaware, it came about because Mark Miller and... I don't know who it was. Was it Warren Ellis? No, that doesn't sound right. Who wrote Marvel? Let me see. It was Marvel. Was that Bill Jemas? That's what it was. So Trouble, if I remember correctly, is Mark Miller. Yeah, Mark Miller. So Bill Jemas and Mark Miller made like a bet to see who could write the worst fucking Marvel comic. Bill Jemas's one is just it's undescribably bad. indescribably bad. It makes no sense. It's just fucking idiotic. Iron Man almost says the N-word in front of Black Panther, and the main character is like a riff on Smallville and Kal-El, but he's called like K-A-O-L because AOL was big when this was written. It's like the turn of the millennium. But that was Bill Jemis's part in this contest. Mark Miller's was Trouble, which Comic Pop has a great video on it. It's a fucking horrible series no one should ever read. I actually found an issue of it in a dollar bin one time, and I reluctantly bought it. The cover of these issues have like young, like 18-year-old blonde girls maybe, who are like in suggestive poses with like lollipops and shit. It looks like a fucking Lolita book cover, like one of the book covers that just completely misses the point of Lolita. And it is about two girls going on vacation who meet two boys, and it's Ben and what is his dad's name? Fuck, what? Oh, I'm blanking out completely. Ben Parker and Richard Parker. There you go. It's Ben and Richard Parker. And it's Mary and May Parker. Well, what happens? I think Richard gets with May, and they have a kid. He gets her pregnant. May gives birth to the child, gives it to Mary, and then just pretends to not be Peter Parker's mom. And that's what Trouble basically is. Like I said, Comic Pop has a great video on it. Go check that out. I think I already said that, or unless I just thought it. So yeah, go check that out. I'll probably cover it sometime in the future. Sorry, I'm just moving everything around on my screen. That's what all that clicking is you're hearing. But yeah, hope to God it's not that, because apparently there's a leaked set photo of the 4-Star Diner set location. And the 4-Star Diner is like someplace where Peter Parker and all of his college buddies would always hang out. But if Adam Scott is going to be playing Ben Parker and Emma Roberts is Mary, then like it's obviously going to be a prequel. It's just a fucking mess. But somehow it's not as big of a mess as what's going on at Warner Brothers in DC. Anyway, moving on, because I put way too much discussion into that. Here is a synopsis for The Boys spin-off series, titled Gen V. And it is said to be part college show, part Hunger Games. It explores the lives of hormonal competitive soups as they put their physical, sexual, and moral boundaries to the test, competing for the best contracts in the best cities. So, it's some sort of Animal House college experience with superheroes. I assume it's going to involve the V-Men in some shape or form. The V-Men are, obviously the version of the X... Or no, not the V-Men. They're called the G-Men in The Boys, I think. They're the version of the X-Men. They're fucking all terrible people. They're all pedophiles and rapists because that version of Professor X is a pedophile who just abuses these children, and then they in turn continue the cycle of abuse. And it's just super fucked up of a storyline. Huey infiltrates the school disguised as the superhero. He is found out, and then when he's chased off the property and like onto the main fields, the boys show up and they're like, "Oh right, let's fuck him up." And then the military shows up and guns down all of the G-Men, and they all die, and that's the end of that story. But that is, I assume, what they're, that's the sort of the basis I imagine it's going to be, is that school. Who knows how far they delve into that version of Professor X knockoff character. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if it's animated or live action. I haven't heard anything about it at all. Because, a lot of this stuff is outdated information. Who's to say it hasn't changed? Moving on. CLERKS III had a trailer released, and it looks really fucking good. It's I like the Clerks movies. I really dig them. They are the best Kevin Smith films in his View Askew verse. Clerks is a great film. Clerks 2 is fun. It's not as good as the first, but Clerks 3 looks fucking great. It is about Randall and Dante still working at the, or I don't know what it's going to be. I guess they go back to working at the video store, or maybe like they bought it and they own it now. I can't remember, or not the video store, the Quick Stop, or whatever it's called. It's been a while since I watched the trailer. But it's basically about Randall wanting to make a movie. And that movie is Clerks. So it's a very metatextual film. And it just looks like a lot of fun. It looks better than a lot of Kevin Smith's recent movies, such as Tusk or Yoga Hosers, which I think were his two most recent ones. I enjoyed them. I got really high and watched them. That's like the way to watch them. And I had a great time. But Clerks 3 looks like a blast. Another film that looks incredible is called Funny Pages, and that is about this like late teens boy living in a small town or somewhere. Like he moves to a city, and he's working as a cartoonist for this newspaper or something. He wants to be like a comic creator. He wants to make comics. He wants to be a cartoonist, and then he discovers this guy who like lives either in his town or in his apartment. Oh, excuse me. He discovers this man who works for Image Comics. So it's set in the 90s. And he's just like, holy shit, you work for Image Comics? And they start like some sort of mentor-mentee relationship. And it looks great. It looks fantastic, like I always say about stuff. It feels like American Splendor 2.0. American Splendor is the Harvey Pekar film based on his life and his comic series, also titled American Splendor, which was an autobiographical series. Great series, great film, stars Paul Giamatti as Harvey Pekar, and he gets that voice down. Harvey Pekar had a very windy, like raspy voice, and I highly recommend you go watch American Splendor if you're greatly into comics and the history of them and creating them. Comic Book Confidential, is that the right one? Let me see. Comic Book Confidential. Yes, that is it, I think. Yes, yeah, that's it. Comic Book Confidential, American Splendor. I'm sure there's others, but those are the main two that I can think of. And probably Funny Pages are going to be up there. Well, Funny Pages is going to be up there in terms of, movies about comic creators that aren't documentaries. But it looks fantastic. I can't remember when it comes out. I feel like it's probably going to be a limited release just because it doesn't seem that big. It might be an A24 film. I can't recall. But yeah, I'm definitely excited about that. I could Google it. I'm not going to. Moving on. I'm just going to skip ahead. I was going to talk about Reservation Dogs Season 2, but I want to get a few more episodes into that before I start discussing it. It is, however, fantastic. I loved the first season. Definitely check that one out if you haven't already. It's on Hulu. Peter Dinklage joins the Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. These names are so fucking stupid. I never cared for the Hunger Games. I just thought this was an interesting thing to note. Peter Dinklage is a great actor. I wanted to go see the Legend of Cyrano or whatever that film of his was called that came out within the past year, but I don't think it was ever showing in my local theaters. I never saw it on the listings, but it's already out on home release like a couple months ago, so I can get it that way. I still haven't watched it. But Peter Dinklage is fantastic. He was great in Underdog. Remember that movie, the live-action Underdog film? It was fun for a dumb kids movie. But yeah, apparently he's going to be in the new Hunger Games prequel. I don't know, is anybody still into the Hunger Games? Is that really a thing people care about anymore? This feels like Avatar, but with a little bit of, pop culture influence remaining, more so than Avatar 2, which I am just shocked by how many people are excited for. I heard people at my work talking about it, and they're like, yeah, the first one was awesome, that was such a great film. And I was like, what the fuck? Did they watch this movie? Were they drunk when they saw it? What the fuck? Did they watch some other great movie and then forget that it was that movie and then think it was Avatar? Is that what's happening here? But yeah, who cares about Hunger Games? If you care about Hunger Games, let me know in the comments, because I never got it. I never read the books. I watched 3 of the 4 movies, which I didn't even watch 1 to 3. I watched 1, 2, and 4. Without even realizing I skipped a movie. I saw the first one, after it came out. I saw the second one after it came out. And I saw the 4th one in theaters, because that was when I was really into going to just, every movie that was released. And it started off, and it's, going on about this revolution that's happening. I'm like, what the fuck? This isn't how the second one ended? What is happening? I was so confused. But, Natalie Dormer's in that film, so I got over it pretty quickly. And she had a sweet haircut. Moving on. Fucking hell. Here's another film franchise that I do not give a shit about, and that is called The Quiet Place. Actually, it's called A Quiet Place. Day 1. It is a prequel starring Ryan Reynolds. And it's coming out 2024. So, hey, remember that scene in A Quiet Place 2 where we see the aliens attack the town? What if you get a whole hour and a half of it? That's about it. I watched the first Quiet Place. You can go find my YouTube movie review on that. Back when I was doing Smokey Goes to the Movies, or whatever I called it. Smokey at the Movies. Yeah, I didn't keep that up very long, just because it gets so tiring having to watch those movies on release, remember everything I want to talk about. I was taking notes on my phone in the theater, crouched down like this so it didn't shine into people's faces. But yeah, that was one of the films I covered in my old review show. I go over all my issues with it there, and I'll leave it at that. Something else that oh my god, this is just 3 fucking things in a row I'm not excited for. And that is the Stranger Things spin-off and the Duffer brothers working on The Talisman. I've not read The Talisman. I have it right over there in my Stephen King section of my bookshelves. But it was a Stephen King and Peter Straub collaboration. But the Stranger Things spin-off is something I don't know. It could be good, because I go on and on about how I always think that Stranger Things should have been an anthology. So maybe this will be that. I hope so. I hope it's all new characters. Maybe it's Murray is the only crossover character. Yeah, that's really the only one I can really think of who would have some sort of interest for me, and who it would make sense for it to be a character in a different location, since it is a spin-off. Although, yeah, I don't know. No other information has been released about what this is, what it's about. It's just the fact that it's coming. Moving on to something I am very excited about, and that is the Amazon Prime Fallout show. I love Fallout, the video game series. Not the actual nuclear fallout. That's not fun. It is... Fallout New Vegas is probably my favorite game of all time, tied up there with Sleeping Dogs, which I recently replayed while we've been setting up the apartment. I got back into gaming heavily. Well, not heavily. I got back into gaming, something I haven't done in quite a while. I got my PlayStation 4, I got my Xbox Original, I got my other Xbox Original, which I had to buy off of eBay for $80 after my first Xbox Original that I bought 10 years ago at a Goodwill stopped working. I got my Xbox 360, I got my other Xbox 360, both of which no longer work. One doesn't have a disk drive that functions, the other has a red ring of death. I'm thinking of switching those disk drives around, but I just haven't gotten around to it. Anyway, there is a Fallout show coming to Amazon Prime, and I'm really excited about it. I hope that it's good. What Amazon Prime shows are there besides The Boys that I've watched? I feel like that might be it. I know they do Jack Reacher, I think is what it is. Oh, they did Invincible, but that was animated. This is going to be live action, I believe. But yeah, there's so much that you can do with the Fallout universe that I don't think it'll be too big of a deal if they don't make it 100% accurate, although I would love it to be. It also reminds me of this show, this web series that I absolutely adored when it came out, because, I love Fallout. And that is called Nuka Break. And that was produced by whoever the fuck. I can't remember who did it. And it's really bothering me. This is what I'm going to Google. Nuka Break was Wayside Creations. That's right. Wayside Creations. It was 15 episodes, 3 seasons, 1 pilot, and 1 special. It was an unofficial fan series, and it looked great. It was, oh my god, that was in 2011. That was fucking 11 years ago. Holy shit. It's insane that Fallout New Vegas is, 12 years old at this point, and it's still such an incredible game. Yeah, Fallout Nuka Break, if you've never seen it, check it out. It's about this, fucking sort of pathetic vault dweller that comes up to the surface world, and, I can't remember the exact synopsis, but let me see if I can find it out for you. It doesn't say. No, the Wikipedia page doesn't have a synopsis of what it is. Doug Jones is in it as a guest role. The guy, there's an actual voice actor from the Fallout series that they got for it. It's about, I wish they don't even have the fucking characters' names. It's about the Vault guy, it's about a ghoul that he meets along the way, and a slave woman that they free when they get into a fight with the fucking, just a bunch of slavers. But it's a really fun series. Check it out. Some other, what am I saying? Video game related news is the fucking announcement from Rockstar Games. Well, unofficial announcement. The leaks from Rockstar. And that is, Rockstar has gone woke. Wow, I can't believe it. Rockstar is woke on us. Go woke, go broke, Rockstar. Wow, how dare you have a female protagonist? I don't know what that was. Rockstar Games has overhauled its workplace culture, which was the title at the time. But what this all boils down to is that Rockstar... No. I was about to say Rockstar 6. Grand Theft Auto 6 will seemingly be set in Vice City with the ability to then travel into different places, such as maybe the Caribbean, Central America, South America probably, since it's going to be about Coke. And it's going to have the first actual female protagonist, and it's going to be some sort of Bonnie and Clyde pairing of 2 characters, so you're going to be able to switch back and forth like in GTA 5. I think the code name for this GTA is Project Worlds or something like that, Project Earth, I don't remember. So that builds into the idea that there's going to be a lot of places to explore, a lot of cities going on here. Maybe you'll be able to go to Liberty City. Maybe there's going to be their own GTA version of Disney World. That'd be cool. But yeah, so that's cool. I probably won't get this whenever it does come out because, one, I don't think my computer will be able to run it. My computer is, it's 10 years old at this point. And 2, I don't know if they're going to release it on PS4. If they do, I'll probably get it. Assuming my computer can't run it. If they don't, I'm never going to play this. I don't really plan on getting a PlayStation 5. My PS4 for the longest time was just a glorified Blu-ray player and media player. I didn't really play video games, like I said. Speaking of Rockstar, though, I did just start Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a fun game. I've been doing it mostly in first person, which I know everybody seems to hate for some reason. But it's reminding me of, like, you know, it's like a Fallout game or something, like Skyrim, but with guns. Moving on to some very old news at this point, and that is that Ben Affleck is back as Batman in Aquaman with Jason Momoa, and he might be replacing Amber Heard in her scenes as Mera. I don't know what else came out about this in the intervening time, aside from the fucking implosion that DC is going through, and Warner Brothers. This is the DC Implosion 2.0. That's really what this is. Back in the late 70s, early 70s? 70s. DC had the DC Implosion, where they just fucking canceled like over half of their titles. And they fired a bunch of people. And that is what's happening now. And, yeah, that's all I got to talk about for the general stuff, I think. Actually, no, it's not. Because I have to talk about Miss Marvel. Hey, you guys, remember Miss Marvel? I know She-Hulk just came out, but let's talk about Miss Marvel. So, the Miss Marvel ending, as we all know, it came back around. I haven't watched it since it came out, but my biggest problem with the show overall is that it was too short. It should have been longer. It should have had more focus on Kamala in New Jersey, in her high school, in her local community. It should have showcased her friends and family and just surroundings more. I don't like that it took 2 episodes out of that to go to Pakistan. Those episodes were nice, but I don't really feel they were needed at all. Aside from, you know, just showing her, you know, coming back to her heritage roots, I guess. Let's see. I'm just sort of looking through the notes, trying to remember what happened. The scenes at the school were fun. I really love that they did the planning scene again. That was neat. The vibration cannons that they used on the Hulk in The Incredible Hulk seemingly made a comeback in this. She embiggens with her hard light constructs. The yellow and green hard light from Kamran just did not look good at all. That did not work for them. And I think it must have been something. It's the compositing is what it is. The light from the green and yellow just does not work as fluidly as the pink and bluish hues of Kamala's powers. And so it just stands out too much. And it just did not look good at all. Like, those are, if they hadn't made it as dark, maybe if they were given more time, 100% if they were given more time, it would have looked so much better. I love the disguises that they used, the ball caps. That was I feel every Marvel property needs to have the ball cap disguise at this point. Let's see. But yeah, going back to, I'm just looking through my notes, but going back to what I was saying, you know, overall, I love the show. I went on and on about the show when it was coming out, how much I loved it. It's my favorite Disney Plus show. But again, I just feel that it did not utilize Kamala dealing with the, you know, trials and tribulations and hardships and everything else, being a teenage girl, being a Muslim teenage girl in America, as much as it should have. Especially, you know, we at the beginning of the show, when she's in the high school and they're walking through the halls, I was like, this is fucking great. This is like almost slice of life, teenager, coming of age film. And it was so good. It started off as a great coming of age, and then it just did away with that. It just ripped that piece off and just set it over here for nobody to use. And that was just really disappointing for as much as I love this show. Obviously, the biggest fucking thing is that Kamala Khan is a mutant, which is hilarious, because the whole reason she's an Inhuman is because at the time, Disney did not own Fox or the X-Men. So they were pushing hard to not use anything that Fox owned the movie rights to, which is why the Inhumans got a big push, why the Fantastic Four left for a while, and why the X-Men did whatever they did at this time. That's why Kamala was an Inhuman, is because they're like, fuck that, if you make her an X-Men, then they can, if you make her a mutant, then they can use her in one of their shitty films. We're not doing that. Make her a fucking Inhuman. And now, they go back and make her a mutant. And they play the fucking X-Men theme, in case nobody got it. Which makes me wonder, whenever the X-Men are introduced, there's apparently the Mutants as almost a prequel event film. I don't know how true that one is, though. That might be a rumor still. But what if Kamala joins the X-Men and she goes by Marvel Girl? Is anybody... I don't know if anybody's suggested this before. I'm sure I'm the first person to do so. I have a very strong brain. But, I don't know, it's just something I thought of. What if, she starts teaming up with the X-Men or something, and she goes by Marvel Girl? Imagine how pissed off people would be. But, come on. Marvel Girl as a name for Jean Grey fucking sucks. It is not good. So much so is it not a good name that people just call her Jean. Or Jean Grey. Or Phoenix. Call her Phoenix from maybe the get-go. Because that is a much better name for them to use. Come up with a new name. Fucking, I don't know. I'm not a Marvel creative person. Hey, Marvel, if you want to hire me to come up with a new Jean Grey superhero name, go ahead. I will do it. But I'm not doing it for free. So now that I've talked about Miss Marvel, let's go over San Diego Comic-Con. SDCC. Alright, first off, we got the Adult Avatar show, which is not as interesting as it sounds. It is similar, seemingly, to that Naruto sequel series, where they're all adults. But in this version, it's the Avatar with Aang, and the little blind girl Toph. And those are the only two names of him I know. I never got into Avatar. But it's gonna be them, and they're all adults, and they got a kid. Like, some of them have kids and whatever, and yeah. That's what it is. New show coming out. I don't know where. Probably should have looked that up. The Goon! Eric Powell's incredible series, which everybody should check out, is called The Goon, and it is about two guys. One is a big brawler, a big brawny brawler, who people call the Goon, and the other is his little sidekick, whose name I cannot remember, but he is very diminutive in size. And they go around fighting zombies and monsters and this evil necromancer man. And it's set in an out-of-time 1920s almost setting. It's a very fun series. But it has been in production and developmental hell for at least 15 years or so. 10, 15 years. There was a leaked... proof of concept test footage that came out nearly a decade ago, probably, or maybe more than that, maybe longer. But now it's back again with Tim Miller as the director. Tim Miller worked on Deadpool, and it's apparently going to be through Netflix, which, if the recent Bone animated show / movie is anything to base this off of, it's never going to happen. Oh god, in comic book news, what was announced at SDCC is that Todd McFarlane and Greg Capullo are working on a Batman Spawn crossover. Batman and Spawn is back. Check out my Batman Spawn, written by Frank Miller and art by Todd McFarlane video on my channel now. There's another one who I can't remember worked on that, and now there's going to be a third one. And with Todd McFarlane doing writing duties, it's going to be just as bad as the first two. I am not excited about it. I'll check it out. I'll pick it up whenever it comes out, I guess, just to put on my shelf with my other Batman stuff. But yeah, I have no interest in this at all. Kurt Wyatt. Nope. Kurt and Wyatt Russell, father and son duo themselves, have been cast in the Godzilla spin-off series for Apple TV. Wait, is this seriously called Apple TV Plus? Or is that a typo that I made? It's called Apple TV Plus. Who was the fucking genius that came up with the plus part of all these fucking subscription services? I'm pretty sure it was Sans Pants, which is an Australian podcasting network. And they should sue Disney for breach of intellectual property or breach of license, whatever, breach of trademark. I don't know where I'm going with this. Why does everybody have to fucking be a plus? What does the plus even signify? It's like the plus in like LGBTQIA whatever. I'm gonna go on a little rant here. I don't have any ill will towards, anybody in the LGBTQ whatever spectrum. I did a whole fucking I did a history lesson on gay rights in America and England last year, a couple of years ago, for God's sake. Anyway, that's like saying, oh, I'm not racist, I have a black friend. I don't understand why the LGBTQ whatever, why are letters continually being added to it? It's like, isn't that the reason that the plus is there for? What's the point of having the plus after all the letters if you just keep adding letters before the plus? Doesn't the plus mean it's overarching for everyone? Why does this keep happening? Does anybody, is there anyone out there talking about this? Can anybody give me information on why whoever is in charge of the gay of the gay initialisms or acronyms or whatever it's called, why the letters keep getting added? Okay, that's enough of my LGBTQ rant. Oh, that would be a good short name. My LGBTQ plus rant. And then see people freak out in the comments. Anyway, moving on. The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power official trailer, which I did not watch, and I'm just now realizing that I haven't watched it. I'm sure it's good. It probably looks great. We saw those orc pictures released a couple months ago. So, yeah. It's Lord of the Rings. Aside from The Hobbit, all the other live-action ones being the 3 movies, they've done pretty well. Although I am of the opinion that the Ralph Bakshi animated film, or films, I think it's just one, from the 70s is the superior Lord of the Rings adaptation. But in addition to the fantasy aspect of what I'm talking about, the Dungeons & Dragons movie cast was announced. And this is starring Chris Pine as the Bard, Michelle Rodriguez as the Barbarian, Renee Jean Page, which I'm pretty sure I misspelled the name of, as the Paladin. Hugh Grant is playing the Rogue. Sophia Lilas is the Druid, because all Druids have to have red hair for some reason. And Justice Smith as the Sorcerer. I don't think there was a trailer released. I don't think there was anything else aside from this and the photos of the characters. Or maybe there was. No, there was a trailer released. It looks fun. I don't suspect this film's going to do well, but if it doesn't, I can only hope that it is a fun time. Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the trailer of which I just watched, because a lot of these trailers that came out, I forgot to watch. Or I just, I put off because I didn't want to, I knew I wouldn't be able to record it for a while, and then I forgot to watch them before this. Shazam! Fury of the Gods looks fantastic. I love the first one. I'm very disappointed that Mr. Mind is not making his reappearance again in this version, or in this film. It looks great. It looks really fun. It looks like Billy is having a crisis of self, I guess. So Shazam, now that I think about it, depending on the iteration and like how the character works, which is the way that this one is working, is a great way to like talk about imposter syndrome, because it's a boy who creates a facade of being an adult superhero who saves the world. That doesn't really seem like that seems to play a part of it, but mostly it's like it seems to be Billy is sort of upset that, his family isn't there with him doing this, the Marvel family, the Shazam family. And two, it does seem to be a bit of that imposter syndrome, since he talks about, there's already a superhero with a red suit and a lightning bolt on it. Not for much longer, I'd imagine. There's Aquaman, there's Batman. Why am I even bothering being a superhero when there's all these other ones who do it way better than me, because they know what they're doing. They're not kids. The cast looks great. Helen Mirren, I think, is the lead villain, and Lucy Liu. Helen Mirren, I know she's like a world-renowned actress and fucking critically acclaimed. I don't really have I don't know. I don't have any opinion of her. Lucy Liu is fantastic. I've had a crush on her since I was a young man. A very young child, I guess. I love seeing her and stuff. I can't remember the last film she was in. I feel like it was a voice role, maybe. I don't remember. But yeah, I'm very excited to see them. It's like, they're doing some Greek stuff, so maybe there might be a little tie-in with Wonder Woman, or like some sort of nod to Wonder Woman, just like there was a nod to Annabelle. Why does that fucking pediatrician have an Annabelle doll in his fucking hospital, or in his doctor's room? What the fuck is that? Obviously it's because David F. Sandberg, he directed one of the Annabelle films, Annabelle Creation, maybe? And that's what, Start was doing horror. But yeah, everything else looks fun. It looks like a really fun film. Grace Fulton is playing Mary Marvel, and she is beautiful. I think it's fine that she is playing herself as Mary Blooming? What is the character's name? I got this. Mary Bloomfield. I think it's Mary Bloomfield. She's playing Mary as a human and Mary as a superhero, which is fine. I like the actress in the first film, but you know what? It's whatever, really. They sort of look pretty similar to begin with, which is why they casted them. All the other characters, they get new actors, though. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, the costumes. I prefer the ones in the first film. I prefer their simplicity. I prefer their colors, their materials. Specifically, Mary's. Don't get me wrong. Grace Fulton looks incredible in her new superhero Shazam outfit. But it's been so sexied up, I guess is what I'll say. Because go look at Mary Marvel in the first Shazam, and then go look at her in this one. I don't know if they're going to do some in-universe reasoning for why the costumes look different. That'd be interesting if they did, but I doubt it. But I love the simplicity of the ones in the first film. I don't like all the little etchings and like design aspects and little like piping going through them like a fucking MCU suit. thought the first film looked fantastic, aside from like the muscle padding being a bit too big on Zachary Levi, but it makes sense at the same time because it's like a teenage boy imagining what being a superhero would look like, I guess. Digimon Hansu is back as the wizard Shazam. Not sure how that's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be like some sort of astral projection or if it's him from the past, maybe. But, you know, he's a fantastic actor. He's in a lot of shit. So I'm excited to see him back. Moving on to some DC animated news. So DC Animated, they released just the logos of these things. These are going to be all new DC animated films, assuming they don't get canceled. And the first is RWBY Justice League. RWBY, that fucking dumb anime by Rooster Teeth. And the Justice League. I don't care. Legion of Superheroes. Now that could be interesting. I am excited to see what that is. Legion of Superheroes is always fun when they show up. Depending on the art style, the animation, I think it could really work. Batman, The Doom That Came to Gotham is another one where the animation is pretty important. The Doom That Came to Gotham was a Mike Mignola book, so you know it's already very stylized to begin with. It's like Gotham by Gaslight, which I still haven't watched, and I don't really plan to. But I'm very excited for The Doom That Came to Gotham. I hope they do a pretty well adaptation of it. I hope it's pretty clear and clean. And Justice League Animated, which I don't recall what it is. Justice League Animated. Yeah, you know, it's just Justice League, I guess. Moving on to some more animation. I Am Groot has his little short films released. They are now released. At the time I wrote this note, they were not. I still have yet to watch them, but the previews look very cute. I like when he farts a leaf. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is getting a fucking animated series. I think it's animated. So that is going to be, you know, I look forward to that. Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur. Devil Dinosaur himself is just a fun character. I've never read Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I haven't even read the original Devil Dinosaur. I am familiar with the character though, and that was Moon Boy, who's a fuzzy little cave boy who can, if I believe, telepathically communicate with Devil Dinosaur. Let's see. Oh, there's X-Men 97 news. X-Men 97, Spider-Man animated series are very overrated shows. I've never cared for them. I've never been interested in them. I've tried watching them multiple times, and I just can't do it. They are a product of their time, just like the Goonies. And I feel the only reason people like it is because of nostalgia and the X-boom that was happening in the 90s. But they are bringing it back, and it's the theme song that they've used in Multiverse of Madness and Captain Marvel, or Miss Marvel, rather. But Magneto will apparently be the leader of the X-Men in the new continuation of the show. Hopefully he has his cool purple sleeveless suit that he wore when he was a leader of the X-Men. More or less the same appearances in terms of characters and looks a little bit from the 90s. We got Rogue, Gambit, Wolverine, Jubilee, Cyclops, Storm, who now has a different hairstyle. It sort of looks almost like Mohawk Storm, except not a Mohawk. Jean Grey, and Beast. We also see Bishop, Morph, whoever Force is, which I think is supposed to say Forge, and Sunspot. So, yeah, if you're into the 90s X-Men series, here you go. Alright, there is apparently a Black Panther film, or not, a Black Panther game in development, titled Project Rainier, developed by a new studio headlined by ex-Monolith Vice President Kevin Stevens and published by EA. It is supposed to be an open-world single-player game where the player becomes a new Black Panther, and it is very early in development. What that means, it could be either you're playing as T'Challa, and this is when he first becomes the Black Panther, when he takes over from T'Chaka. This could mean you're an entirely new character. I don't think that's what they would do with it. I feel like fans wouldn't like that. But it sort of sounds similar vein to the Spider-Man and Batman Arkham City game, or Arkham Asylum series games. I don't know who Monolith is or what they created. I don't know who Kevin Stevens is. I do know who EA is, and that makes me not excited for this. And now moving on to the part I like to call The MCU Happened. And that is because there is just a fuck ton of news that I gotta talk about. Alright, here we go. Marvel Zombies is coming to Disney+. We already knew this from last SDCC or whatever announcement they made that at. We already knew that was coming. I think they might have just changed the logo for the show. But Marvel Zombies is getting a TV series, animated as well. It's seemingly going to be a continuation from the episode, and it will follow the heroes Shang-Chi, Yelena Belova, Jimmy Woo, Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan, Katie from Shang-Chi, Red Dragon, who I can't remember who that is, and Death Dealer, as Marvel heroes have become zombified. Cap, Wanda, Hawkeye, Abomination, Ghost, Okoye, Captain Marvel, Icarus, and those are the ones that we've seen. But there is also a gang of Skrulls that shows up in the trailer, and I don't know what that's about. I don't know why there's so many Skrulls on this Earth for some reason. But that'll be an interesting little addition, I guess, for an episode or however long. I don't know. Maybe I was gonna say maybe the virus is a Skrull thing, but we already know that the virus is from the quantum realm because Janet gets it. Janet brings it back when she comes back to Earth. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Oh my god, there's so much to talk about. So, all the movies that were announced. Avengers Secret Wars. Avengers The Kang Dynasty. Captain America New World Order, which is going to involve the Serpent Society. Multiverse Saga, which is apparently what we're in or what we're going to be in. And the Thunderbolts. So, I'm just going to go down this list of, little bullet points that I have, because a lot of stuff came out. Chukwudi Iwuji, who was Mur in the Peacemaker series, is starring as High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. High Evolutionary was this weird alien guy who was experimenting on animals. He created Rocket Raccoon. He created this otter woman that Rocket is friends with. He did a bunch of weird shit. I think he's the guy who made all the he's the guy who made all the animal people that live at the base of Wundagore Mountain. So he's going to be in this, or in Guardians 3. The Thunderbolts will release on July 26th, 2024. Daredevil is going to be returning in She-Hulk as a cameo appearance alongside a magician called Donnie Blaze, who this is a recent leak. I don't know if it's I think it's an announcement because we see it in the background, but it's seemingly, according to what I've read and the spoilers and leaks and whatnot, discussion boards, he's going to be a magician that takes up the stage name Donnie Blaze, seemingly, because he just stole it from Johnny Blaze, ex-stuntman and ex-Ghost Rider, which I don't know if it's the episode that Daredevil's going to be in, but if it is, that kind of reminds me of the Trickster from the Ann Nocenti Daredevil series. I talked about it in whatever episode I talked about that issue in the Daredevil series. It was probably fairly early in the podcast. But the Trickster was a character who just came out of nowhere, wore a cow skull as a head through magical means. He could manipulate his appearance. It could have been a demon. It could have been an alien. It could have been some other dimensional being. It could have just been a magician guy. It's never explained who or what the Trickster is, and it's just very creepy because of that. But how cool would that be if they took more inspiration from the Ann Nocenti run? Since they basically did all of the Frank Miller stuff in the Netflix show, I'd like to see them adapt some Ann Nocenti stuff, because I've talked about it before, but it is my favorite Daredevil run. It is just such an impeccable piece of comic book history. Everybody who worked on that series was just perfect for the job. Moving on, Fantastic Four is going to be the first film in Phase 6. They got the next 2 phases all planned out. And we're still in Phase 4, people. I think Phase 4 ends sometime end of this year or mid next year or something like that, maybe. Avengers Kang Dynasty will release on May 5th, 2025, and is directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi. So I'm looking forward to some cool fight scenes and, cool camera work. Avengers Secret Wars will release on November 8th, 2025. So, hey, here's coming to you, because I think I was right about Kang. A couple months ago, I made the bold assumption that Kang was going to replace Doctor Doom in the MCU Secret Wars film. And knowing that Kang is going to be coming beforehand, and Doom, or the Fantastic Four, won't be around until 2026, or at least, I am very excited to see myself proven wrong when this film comes out in 3 years. Also for the MCU Secret Wars, I feel, this is something I've had written in here that I finally have been able to talk about. I feel that whatever movie the final incursion between the multiverse happens is, it's obviously it's going to end with the destruction of the universes. It's probably going to be in a similar way to the Infinity War, where it ends on a downer ending of the superheroes losing. And then either at the end of the film or in a credit scene, there's going to be a character that the general audience is going to be able to recognize. It's going to be Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. It's going to be Chris Evans as Human Torch. Who the fuck else could it be? It's going to be Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. It's probably going to be somebody like Hugh Jackman is going to come back, and he's going to wake up, or just something like that. It's going to be like a day in the life of this character, and it's going to be like, holy shit, Hugh Jackman is back as Wolverine? And then it's going to be revealed that this version of Wolverine is in their own section of Battle World. And he's going to be like stopped by the Thor Corps or something, or he's going to see the Thor Corps flying overhead, and then the camera's going to sweep up, and he's going to look up and then keep walking, and you're going to be able to see him get smaller and smaller, and it keeps going out and out and out and out, and it's in Westchester, and it's New York, and you see the surrounding forests, and then it keeps going out, and then at the edge of the forests, there's giant wall borders that are built, and it keeps going up and further, and there's titanic skyscrapers emerging from the ground over here, and a 1920s style city over here, and the fucking the X-Men are dogs in this version over here. There's giant, everything's a fire hydrant. And then it's gonna pull up, and it's gonna be Battle World, and then it's gonna cut to black, and it's gonna say the multiverse will return in whatever the next Avengers film is. Or something like that. It's going to be something fucking crazy. It's another bold assumption I'm making, but I hope it is true. Moving on, the Wakanda Forever trailer. It's a really fucking good trailer. I really like it as a trailer. It's just the music and just the somberness of it is incredible. It's so heartbreaking that Chadwick Boseman passed away. And that scene of his mother, Rwanda, is that her name? Rhonda? I can't fucking remember. Her saying that her husband and her son are gone, and she has no family, or like everybody's gone, even though she has Shuri, but like, Shuri's an anti-vaxxer, so, and of course, Namor. I fucking love that Namor is in this movie, because now everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, I love Namor. Who doesn't love Namor? Everybody for about the past 80 years. Nobody has ever given a shit about Namor. He's had fans, sure. I won't disagree with that. But look me in the fucking eyes and tell me that Namor has, one, been a big player in the Marvel Universe in any capacity that isn't involving the Illuminati or the Fantastic Four. Two, that anybody in the general populace cares about Namor, and not the general populace of anything, general populace of Marvel fans. Who the fuck's going around saying, oh my god, did you see Namor's appearance in this and that? Oh my gosh. Did you know that Namor doesn't just want to fuck Sue Richards? He actually wants to conquer the 7 seas and Earth. But yeah, Namor looks really cool. I really dig the Aztec, Central American, South American influence they're going with. It's going to be weird how they put Atlantis at war with Wakanda, because Wakanda is a landlocked country. I assume it's going to have something to do with, like, Wakanda embassies around the world, maybe, or, like, Wakanda outreach programs like they were doing at the end of the first Black Panther, which is insane that it came out in, 2018 already? Holy shit. But yeah, it looks really good. Another trailer that looks really good is She-Hulk. I adore She-Hulk. Specifically the John Byrne run. John Byrne, a shitty human being who's a fucking asshole, wrote the best She-Hulk series. I can't wait for her to break the fourth wall. I love the design for her. I love the actor who's playing her. I'm interested to see the villains. I'm interested to see how Daredevil shows up and how they have sex. I'm interested to see Abomination be like a therapist, or like, reinvent himself as like a therapist for supervillains or something. There's like Porcupine and... oh, fuck, who else was there? I can't remember who all the other ones are. Frogman is going to be in this, and he might be like a Tony Stark wannabe. It looks like a hoot, and I am very excited for it. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. While it did not have an official trailer release, it was leaked online at a very, terrible angle. Like, they're looking up, at this perspective. So you can't really see much. It's playing the Do You Realize by The Flaming Lips, which is a fucking great song. It's a very solemn trailer. It's very somber, similar to Black Panther, but this one even more so. Gamora is back. There's the comic accurate suits, which it is about goddamn time. There's also 2001 Space Odyssey style spacesuits that they're wearing for some reason. It's the multicolored ones, like the red, green, and yellow, and whatever other colors, blue, that they're wearing. That's just an interesting little choice. I assume it's a 2001 reference. Adam Warlock is appearing. We get a glimpse of him, and he looks pretty good. He's just a gold man with a shiny thing in his forehead. And we also see a quick scene of Rocket and High Evolutionary. And people are definitely gonna die in this film. I bet Drax is gonna be one of them. And I don't know who else. I hope it's not Rocket. I really hope they don't kill Rocket. I don't see them killing off Peter Quill. What if they just kill Gamora again? Another trailer that was leaked online was the Quantum Mania trailer. And I'm going to try and finish this SDCC part up, because I still got rumors to talk about, and we're already an hour and something into the podcast. Quantum Mania. Cassie gets sucked into a wormhole and ages up into Catherine Newton. I don't have a problem with that. I am in love with Catherine Newton as well. As well as all my other celebrity crushes I talk about on this show. That's fine. I liked the other actress that played her, but whatever. They want her to be Stature. That's what her name is. They want her to be Stature already. Kang is just crusading through time and the quantum realm. Bill fucking Murray appears, and maybe he plays George Tarleton, who is MODOK in the comics. He also might be, or seemingly is, I don't know, he's either a former S.H.I.E.L.D. scientist that knows Janet and Hank, or he's a ruler / king of the quantum realm. I thought I wrote down that character's name somewhere. I might have done it later in the notes, but it doesn't look like it. It's this fucking like green-skinned alien dude in the comics that he might be playing, because we do see cities in the quantum realm. They're like, big castles and shit. So that's might be where he's at. But yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. I love both the Ant-Man films. I'll be honest, I was shocked in 2015 when they released an Ant-Man film. I was like, oh my god, they're making a fucking Ant-Man film? But then, I love those two movies. Let's see. Moving on to a last bit of animation stuff. Spider-Man Freshman Year. Holy shit, it looks really good. It's an original series streaming in 2024 on Disney+. I believe it has already been announced that there's going to be a next sequel series or a second season called Spider-Man Sophomore Year. So I assume they're going to keep going. That'd be pretty cool if this is a continued series. Spider-Man's freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, and then Spider-Man college years. And then, keep going from there. Just give me something that is on the same level of Spectacular Spider-Man. Please, I'm begging you, please. That is such a fucking incredible show, and if you're not bringing it back, give me something that reaches that same height of entertainment. It is not set in the MCU, which is what everybody thought when this was first announced. It was like, oh, okay, there's like an animated Spider-Man show set in the MCU. That's cool. But yeah, that is not true at all. Spider-Man will have multiple suits throughout the show, so I assume it's going to be like, his raggedy homemade suit, his wrestling suit, his first suit, his newer suit that he upgrades, blah, blah, blah. It's going to feature Nico Minoru, who we last saw on the, what channel, what did that air on? The Runaways. She was in The Runaways. Also set in the MCU, I don't care what anybody says. What was that on? It wasn't Hulu. Hulu was Cloak and Dagger. Was it ABC? Was it NBC? I can't remember. Anyway, Nico Minoru is seemingly going to be like Peter Parker's best friend alongside Harry Osborn and Amadeus Cho and more. So, we're not getting Gwen yet. We're not getting MJ yet. Makes sense since, in the comics, he met them while he was at college. Let's see. Charlie Cox will be voicing Daredevil, and he has this like black and red suit, which gives me flashbacks to Shadowland, but also reminds me of his weird dark armored suit that he wore in, I think, the 90s. And he'll be teaming up with Spider-Man, and Spider-Man will also be teaming up with Doctor Strange. So that's going to be fucking awesome. Norman Osborn is apparently going to be a mentor for Peter Parker in this universe, and I think, if I remember correctly, Norman Osborn's black in this version. So, it's gonna like, the Tony Stark relationship, but it's gonna be with fucking Norman Osborn. Doc Ock, the Rhino, Scorpion, Speed Demon, and Tarantula will appear as villains. And yes, it has already been renewed for a second season titled Sophomore Year. So I think out of all of these announcements, Spider-Man Freshman Year is probably the one I'm most excited about. It just seems like the one where they can have the most freedom out of all of these. Because everything else, it's trapped in the MCU shell. But this, they can do something different, which they clearly are. I don't think any actual animation has been released. I hope to God it is better than the last Spider-Man show they released. That one on Disney Junior or Disney XD or whatever it's called now. Because God almighty, that thing looks fucking ugly. But finally, at an hour and 18 minutes in, let's go to the rumor mill. So all of these rumors have probably been discussed ad nauseum, but I'm going to do it some more. Starting off with the Quantumania leaks / rumors, and that is that Corey Stoll, who played Darren Cross / the Yellow Jacket in Ant-Man, is making a reappearance as MODOK. And MODOK in this version, we see a quick glimpse of him in the trailer itself, seemingly. It's going to have something to do with the fact, because at the end of Ant-Man, Darren Cross, he shrinks himself too much and he fucks himself up and he seemingly kills himself. But in reality, he shrunk down to the quantum realm, his head got really big and his body got really small. And according to some other rumors, he is going to be the second in command to Kang. So I hope that he continues after this film. I hope that MODOK escapes into the regular reality. Seemingly he will if he's interacting with Kang a lot. I just really like MODOK. He's a great design. He's a fun villain. I dig him. And I want to see him, really show up and fucking be a giant talking head in the MCU. I want to see him fight fucking Sam Wilson, Captain America. Wakanda Forever leaks / rumors, which I now realize are screenshots that I have and not notes that I made. So, let's find where that is. Okay, here we go. So, this is seemingly true based on the trailer. Lake Bell plays a scientist who is an original character. Spoiler alerts, by the way, for everything. Who is an original character. She and her team are searching for vibranium in the ocean, thanks to a device made by Riri Williams. This is seemingly the ship that we see during the trailer of Wakanda Forever. Namor is awakened by their, expedition and kills her whole team. Namor asks Wakanda for help for something, and they turn him down. T'Challa passes away from a sickness, which is what happened. Namor wants to kill Riri for some reason, but Wakanda protects her. Maybe she is a Wakandan citizen, or she's technically a Wakandan, like Killmonger, maybe? I don't know. Riri's first suit is made out of cars, but when she gets to Wakanda, she gets one made out of vibranium. So that's cool. There was a leaked set photo of the Ironheart suit, and it looks really cool. It's very reminiscent of the Ultimate Iron Man suit, where it's real bulky in the feet and the hands and shit, and it has the domed off helmet. It looks pretty cool. I'm digging it. I assume the vibranium version, the upgraded version, is just going to be a CGI suit that goes over top of her. The war between Wakanda and Atlantis. Shuri's mom also passes away. So fucking Shuri is the only member of the royal family still alive, assuming that they don't go with the adopted white brother from the Christopher Priest run. Parts of Wakanda are flooded somehow, even though it's in the center of Africa. Shuri makes an artificial flower to gain Black Panther powers and gain access to the ancestral plane. She expects to see T'Challa, but meets Killmonger. He apparently is going to help her become the new Black Panther for some reason, and Shuri makes her own Black Panther suit. There's a big war between the two nations. Shuri defeats Namor, but doesn't kill him. M'Baku is the new king of Wakanda, while Shuri is the Black Panther. Nakia tells Shuri that she has a son from T'Challa, and that's the end. Now, here is the big rumor for the credits scene of Wakanda Forever. And that is that Doctor Doom is going to be the person behind the undersea expedition that we see on that ship with Lake Bell. He is the one who is financing it. He's behind the vibranium search. There's, I don't know how well this is one word. There's this concept art showing some dude standing before a Doctor Doom, which, if anything, I feel like it's going to be a Doom bot, if this is true. But there have been rumors that Doctor Doom is going to be introduced before the Fantastic Four. So, maybe I am wrong about Kang being in Secret Wars. All right, what is next? Let's see. DC cinematic rumors. Here we go. This is going to be interesting. So, Bradley Cooper is expected to play a role in Joker Folie à Deux, alongside Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. That's also an announcement that came out as the Joker 2 thing. Ta-Nehisi Coates delivered the first draft of the Superman movie back in December, which had a black Clark Kent in the 1940s. I discussed this a couple episodes ago, last season. Then Warner Brothers ordered rewrites, and they wanted the movie set in present day, and they got rid of the idea of a black Clark Kent. Apparently, there's going to be some sort of Superman reboot, maybe, but at this point, who the fuck knows? Oh man, 2 people signed up to be Constantine and Zatanna, and they're the face of the Justice League Dark Universe that J.J. Abrams is developing. Don't know how well that one's gonna pan out. Margot Robbie is co-developing with James Gunn and Lucky Chat Production a new Harley Quinn solo movie, which we do know that James Gunn apparently is contracted for, or is, working on another DC project, so it's probably this. The movie is described as a lesbian road trip between Harley and Poison Ivy in the vein of Thelma and Louise. Matt Reeves wants Benny Safdie to play Harvey Dent in the Batman sequel. The Batman sequel, though, is in very early production still, so this stuff is bound to change on that. There was a Nightwing movie in active development with Chris McKay attached to direct it. The Court of Owls would be the main villain, and Michael Keaton is expected to return as Bruce Wayne. Oh, how depressing these are to read now. Green Arrow will play a major role in the Black Canary movie. Warner Brothers wants Alex Demi to play Donna Troy in the upcoming Wonder Woman sequel. That one I can still see happening. Caleb McLaughlin eyed to star in HBO Max's Static Shock. Wah, 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 wah. Caleb McLaughlin is... he's Lucas from Stranger Things. Wow, that was a lot more depressing than I thought it would be. Oh man, I didn't even think about that. Oh, Jesus. Here's some really old news. Remember 2 months ago when people were talking about Dr. Doom being played by Howard Stern? It's Howard Stern, come on. He accidentally said he had to go be on a meet up with some Marvel reps or something. Yeah, sure. There's also this audio show called the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl audio show, which I feel like is way more in line for Howard Stern to do. It's like a comedy audio drama series that Marvel is doing or is working on or has released. I'm not too sure, but that just seems like what it is. Kraven the Sexual Hunter rumors and leaks. Alright, so unlike the other things, I feel like a lot of this stuff is probably going to happen because Sony does not give a shit. So, spoilers for Kraven the Hunter. Sergei locates the members of... should I read this whole thing in a Russian accent? Sergei locates the members of the aforementioned organization... Wait, no, this is the wrong one. What am I reading? I started off on the wrong slide. Kraven the Hunter. The character played by Russell Crowe in the film is Vladimir Kravenov, the original Kraven the Hunter who is now retired. So apparently Kraven the Hunter is a title in this universe. He has a son, obviously, who is Sergei Kravenov, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, a millionaire activist who is against the hunting of animals. Sergei was trained as a child by Vladimir. When Sergei was still a child, Vladimir put his son through a rite of passage that gave him superhuman abilities. Sergei wants to put an end to a criminal organization dedicated to poaching animals led by someone known only as the Chameleon. Sergei locates the members of the aforementioned organization and confronts them at a warehouse owned by himself. He owns it. The Kravenov family owns this warehouse. There he finds a hunter outfit covered in animal skins, similar to the one from the comics. Sergei puts on his suit and from now on will use it to honor the animals, now becoming the hunter of these unscrupulous hunters so that they realize what it means to be the prey instead of the hunter. after there was also leaks that in Morbius we would see the comic accurate suit and they would make fun of it. So, that never showed up in the actual movie, just like a lot of stuff. So who knows about this? After the incidents of Kraven chasing the criminal organization through the city, which I assume was those leaked images we saw of Aaron Taylor Johnson wearing the feet shoes and running barefoot through like a park and down the street or something. The FBI identifies and goes after Sergei and also the Hunter organization. So, hey, it's another, wow, they think that the lead of the film is a bad guy, but he's not actually, even though he is. At one point in the plot, Sergei is helped by a woman named Calypso. Sergei finds out she was hired by his father, Vladimir, in order to get Sergei away from her father's plans. Okay, I don't know what that means. Sergei confronts the leader of the organization, the famous chameleon, and kills him. Calypso decides to help Sergei since she has fallen in love with him. The real villain and shadowy leader of the criminal organization was Vladimir Kravinov the whole time, but that's his dad. Sergei confronts his father and ends up killing him, and he then discovers that the chameleon was his brother. Post-credits, it's revealed that Dmitry Kravinov, aka the Chameleon, is not actually dead. Post-credits number 2. Sergei is now known as Kraven and learns over the radio of a major robbery in New York that left several injured, caused by, according to the press, a vulture and a vampire, and Kraven decides to go hunt them down. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's such a fucking hilarious sentence. Oh my god. There's no doubt in my mind that most of that's gonna be true. God almighty, what is Sony doing? Now moving on to our final rumor from the rumor mill, and that is that 20th Century Fox's contractual obligations to the actors of the X-Men franchise have carried over to Disney. Makes sense. Fucking when Discovery bought Warner Brothers, they also inherited all that debt that AT&T had. So when Disney bought Fox, they inherited everything, including the contracts. And this means that the contracts are in effect until 2025, meaning that Marvel cannot recast or enter production on a film that includes roles held by some of the recent principal actors from the Fox X-Men franchise. So if they want Giancarlo Esposito as Dr. X, as Professor X, they're going to have to wait until 2025 to where they don't have to cast Patrick Stewart as him. Same thing with Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast would have to be Nicholas Hoult, that kind of stuff. Which, that does explain why the apparent first, mutant film is going to be called The Mutants. It's going to be about characters we haven't seen before. It's going to be about Beak, hopefully, who is a character in Grant Morrison's new X-Men that I love. So yeah, we probably, we won't be seeing the original X-Men and the ones in the films until 2025, or until 2026, 2027, 2028, 2030, which is only 8 years away. Jesus God almighty, 2030 is 8 years away. Oh my god, that seems like such a futuristic year, which is the same thing I said about 2020. And here we are 2 years later. But enough of my existential crises. That's been this episode, the first episode of Season 2 of Comic Schtick Podcast, of the Comic Schtick Podcast, where comics are my shtick, which I'm pretty sure I forgot to say in the intro. It's been a rough one. I'm getting back into the swing of things. As always, check out Destructoboy on Etsy.com / no, I keep saying / Etsy.com Etsy.com/shop/Blake T. Wild. $9.99 plus shipping and handling, comes with a free sketch of any character of your choosing. It can be anyone. It can be Spider-Man. It can be Cobra Commander. It can be Raphael of the Ninja Turtles. I will do anything. I'll do anything for money. And you can cut that out and use it in whatever video or clip meme that you want. Check it out online. Issues 2 and 3 are coming. Like I said, I'm trying to get those done before the convention to sell. So check that out. It really helps me out. And, you know, I have not gotten bad reviews on any of those. People really dig this issue. They really, you know, I'll flip through it some more while I'm talking about it. I've received only good feedback on this, and I have sold it to people who aren't related to me or know me on a personal basis, and they love it. Like I said, it's about Destructo Boy. It's an origin story for Destructo Boy. It's, you know, all in the first issue. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Alpha Cardinal comes back. He makes his presence known. The only person that can stop him is Destructo Boy. There he is right there. So check that out, Etsy.com, Blake T. Wild. And yeah, follow me on Instagram, at Smokey's Videos, at NotBlakeWild. I think that's most of my sign-offs that I do. Hopefully, sometime soon, I'll be getting some, you know, we'll be decorating over there, make it look less bare, or something. But, yeah. Let me know what you all thought. Well, what did you think of all the announcements from SDCC? What do you think about all these rumors that I discussed? What have you guys been up to since last we spoke? Well, last I spoke to you. Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, helps me out, blah, 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 blah. And I hope you stay safe. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye.